Thank you so much for joining me for another demo. I bring you Strange Antiquities, which is another game based off of the world of strange horticulture. So we're walking into this blind and let's see what it has. The release date is still to be announced. As Thaumaturge's apprentice, there is a lot to learn. Every object must be treated with care, and it is important to identify the harmful from the harmless, the potent from the mild. Why did that look like Baby Groot? It was only supposed to be a temporary arrangement when Eli left the shop, Strange Antiquities, in my hands. None of us knew that by then the pendulum was already swinging, with the terrible certainty that could not be stopped. The ravens were an omen, the circling unkindness of black wings and a cheerless cries that seemed, even then, to signal the start of a rising dread. Day 1 at Thursday, and our cat is back. Hi! Oh, that purring. Still the same purr in the back of the ear. So in Strange Horticulture, there was multiple endings depending on how you played through, and it actually did require you to play through multiple times in order to see all the endings, as most of these games do, but you couldn't get to the ideal or the true ending unless you played through multiple times. So we're going to just play through as with whatever information we're given and then see what happens. Move the plant. I choose the plant there. Alright. This is a vibe, is it not? Alright. Eli White. I've been called away to assist in an urgent matter in Ravenglass and must leave at once. I'm leaving the shop in your care, with some reluctance, I might add. Make use of my reference materials. Here, take this. This is an index in the back that may be useful for you. If in doubt, study it carefully, and remember that there are some powerful artifacts here. Under no circumstances should you seek entry to any locked drawers, or cupboards. In fact, safe is not to touch anything at all. I should be back in a few days. Bye, Eli. The thaumaturge, Eli White, is a thaumaturge. I'm probably saying that incorrectly. A collector and curator of powerful objects that to the untrained eye may appear dull and lifeless, but that in the right hands and armed with the right knowledge can be a gateway to so much more. For Eli, the quest to unearth and understand each new object has been the driving force of his adult life. As an owner of Strange Antiquities, Eli is a stern master. He knows firsthand what can happen if the right precautions are not taken. He doesn't tend to show much emotion, but he does have a more tender side, a side that is mostly reserved for the store's cat, Jupiter. Visits. Day 1. I've been called away to assist on an urgent matter in Ravenglass. Okay, we actually know that. And Jupiter. Here's Jupiter. Hi, Jupiter. Miss Pope. Congratulations! Today is the day you meet the great Thomas Pope. That's me. I'm a man of 2 loves, fresh mountain air and a little white dog called a Hamish. But I reserve some room for laughter among friends and shops with cats in them. If you would be so kind, I'm looking for a replacement for my hunter's boon. Use an item to inspect them. Inner perception. Red paint or perhaps blood. Cries, remnant, bending, ethereal, hearing charm, heart chamber, horned, hunter's boon. A hunter's boon is a primitive item. They grant the power of a predator, enhancing perception and agility. They are made from trophies taken from slain beasts, with those from the deadliest predators being the most prized. They are the simple items without embellishment. Color, a sense of touch. Yellow, white color. Smooth but hard ridges. I have nothing to remark. It gives me a sensation of power. Okay, so I'm gonna guess this. Hunter's boon. This is a tiger's tooth, a trophy from a predator. On closer inspection, it gives a sensation of power. Osic ring is somewhat macabre objects that were originally made as offerings to the goddess Corcoran, but the practice fell out of favor as belief waned. I know I'm saying these wrong. They are hard to come across now, but they are occasionally sought out for their ability to keep vermin at bay. Some say that they can hear Corshins, an unearthly hiss when they hold the ring up to their ear. The nights are drawing in again. Dark shadows hide dark deeds, or so my father always used to say. Seems like the shadows have grown darker since he passed 2 winters gone. A creeping dark has set up in my house. I'm told a shadow hold will draw it out. A shadow hold. Oh, that's not what I wanted. A shadow hold, or a shadic vessel, is a container of any kind, sometimes a jar or bottle, or some sort of box. Can be used to contain a shadic spirit, the manifestation known as creeping dark, pulling it from the shadows like poison from a wound. They are decorated with an elaborate design called a shadow catcher. That thing right there. This wasn't the item I'm looking for. I should slow down and think this through. So it wasn't that. What? Okay, it might be that. Oh, it's this thing. A sun's bond. A sun's bond is a small and lightweight, designed to be carried discreetly and made of non-precious metal of some kind, housing a gemstone of light. They carry the warmth and the light of the sun, a brightness that can pierce the darkness gloom. Oh, okay. I turned it on. What's with all these ravens flying under Undermere today? I can't remember ever seeing anything like it. Not a good day to be the sort who believes in dark omens. A letter for you. We discovered some papers in a hidden desk drawer in the boatyard last night. Mr. Jones almost threw them in the fire pit, but I asked to take a look at them first. That man does like to burn things. They look old, but maybe there's something of much use here. But I thought of you when I came across an entry in the Shin. Charlie Weathers. Ah, Jupiter, we meet again. Our paths crossed late last night on Princess Street. We shared a moment before he slunk off into the dark. On an important business, no doubt. I wonder if you can help me. I'm visiting my grandmother later, and I wanted to bring her something. She lives all alone on the edge of town, out in Clanbrook Road, and I don't always manage to get out there as often as I like. I thought maybe a moon heart would bring her some comfort. I don't know what a moon heart is. And it looks like we don't know it. Okay. These carved totems are commonly known as moon hearts, can be imbued with a sentiment or feeling, such as love or joy, and held tightly to recall the same feeling. They sometimes feature crescent shapes associated with both Selenic and Gnostic disciplines. Indeed, the form of the item itself will often have a connection to either the moon or the night. Cheap metal, engraved detailing, nothing to remark, nothing to remark. See that one, which makes me think that don't. Any suggestions for me, buddy? A Selenic totem. A vocant. These stone items weigh the same as a man's heart, according to popular myth. The truth is a little less dramatic, but the weight of these items is nevertheless important, and should not stray more than a hair from precisely 1 pound. They are placed on the chest of those in a coma to draw them out. The behavior of these ravens is disturbing, to say the least. As a rule, they only come together to feed. Ravens are omnivores, carrion eaters mostly, but they'll take anything they can get their little talons into. And they'll kill if necessary. I didn't plan on dropping in today, but there's something happening out there, and I like to know what. A voice of Coronos might help put me at ease, or it might do the opposite. Okay, we're good before I figure that out. Since we have new people. The ornithologist, Edmund Bishop, the 14th Lord of Gleeston Castle, is a man of wealth and privilege, like the 13 before him. He is a man who would be easy to despise, as his father was, but he is well loved by those who know him. Now retired, he is a professor of ancient languages at the University of Cumbria, but his real passion is birds. His students learn to divert particularly dense lectures on Latin by asking about local owl species or by quizzing the professor on increasingly exotic bird calls. Edmund was only too happy to oblige, spending hours recounting stories of his adventures in Africa and New Zealand. Devourer of souls. Jupiter, you badass, you. Jupiter is the thaumaturge's cat, or more accurately, Eli is Jupiter's thaumaturge. Jupiter found strange antiquities, perhaps drawn to the curiosities within, and made it his home. Eli was more than happy to accommodate him, but he learned early on that Jupiter was his own master. His business is his own, but it largely consists of regular naps, terrorizing rodents, and midnight explorations of Undermere and beyond. What he does on his excursions is a mystery, but he seems to be well known among the town's residents. Alright, so a voice of Cronus. Memento Mora, reminder of death. Did I click the right thing? Oop, I just saw it. Okay, the name Voice of Coronis is used to refer to any bronze torque that has certain imbued properties. With skull, such an item can be used to read patterns of nature that are otherwise hidden to us. Pagan god of forest and nature, typically depicted with a man of antlers or a stag, and often wearing holding torque. Bronze, uneven texture. I'm guessing this one? A spirit's eye. There are some who stay away from spirit eyes, believing them to be a window into a world that should not be seen, and others who deride their fear as nothing more than superstition. It is not clear exactly what they do show, another layer beneath visible world, perhaps, a layer that requires something more than the traditional sense to experience. They draw their power from the opposing symbols inscribed upon them. Jupiter, we're done for the day. You get to go be a cat and I'm gonna go to sleep, I think. Yeah, I think so. We'll tidy up a little. Alright, Jupiter. You rule your world. The black mare thundered through the icy rain, shining wet in the silver moonlight. Her cloaked rider was exhausted, cold, and soaked to the bone. He knew he would not survive the night if he did not reach Back Barrow. Oh, this looks like fun. What are we doing? Jackals. An escaped prisoner ran northwest. He hid me in the first building he came to. I just realized there's these symbols here. We saw that on an antiquity. On thalmic fields, all thalmic produce a field of sorts. Although invisible to a naked eye, they can be observed by placing an object over its lens. Reminders, I stored a couple of items in the cellar of the wine merchant next door. Okay, and an escaped prisoner ran northwest. Okay, north, alright. Ran to northwest. Nope, I wanted to explore. Okay. Oh, strange horticulture 2. Which is here, strange horticulture. The Barrows Church, Hospital, Lockhouse, the Old Jail, so 10. He ran northwest. Yay, we figured it out. That was fun. Strange horticulture had us exploring the woods. A dilapidated warehouse is dark and imposing, and the struggling flame of my lantern does little to pierce its darkness. I slowly search through its contents with a sense of despair, wondering if I'm even in the right place at all, when suddenly and unexpectedly I uncover something of value. More relieved than elated, I take the trinket back to the shop for further study and a warm drink. What was the item? How do I get out of here? Well, you're not napping right now. You were a busy little beaver. I scared you? Yeah, me too. How do I... My little kitten, how do I get rid of this? I just picked up this candle for reasons unknown. Kitten? How do I get rid of this? You would think this little arrow here would do it, but it doesn't. Oh. That is a little gross. Not gonna lie. This location doesn't require an item. Okay, well, that's fine, but how do I get rid of this? Interesting. Okay, I'm just clicking buttons because I don't know how to get rid of this screen. Well, guys, I do have a rule in demos. If something breaks, then I tend to end right there. But I don't know if it's broken or if I'm just not understanding how to drop this. Because you would think clicking this button right here would mean that it would go away, right? But it's not going away. So we'll just sit here and pet our cat. Alright, I will stop here. Thank you guys so much for keeping me company. I'm so sorry that the demo broke or I broke. Either is a possibility, and or so I will be back with another demo very soon. Of course I'm liking this. I loved strange horticulture. I thought that was such a fun interesting take, and plus we have a cat that purrs deliciously in your ear. Oh, I hope your headphones do, you guys. I hope the sound comes through on YouTube, because it is a vibrate in your ear. Anyway, I'm just stalling because I don't want to admit that the game broke, but I think something went wrong. So I will be back with another demo very soon. Thanks so much for keeping me company.